So this is the Naomi Crunch Distortion, which is another one of those $17 pedals that I bought on eBay. I don't know anything about it. I just basically tested it to see if it works, and I figured out that the gain and the volume knobs are swapped. So what says gain and what says volume is the opposite. But I think after we've done some demos and some audio samples, I'll show you what is inside of this box and whether this thing is, worth getting for 17 bucks. So let's do some playing and see what it sounds like. So let's test out the pedal with a slightly driven amplifier and see what it sounds like as a booster first, before testing it as a drive pedal. This is a JCM 800 that is slightly driven. Perfect for testing pedals to push the amp and get some good distortion. And one thing to note about this pedal is that the gain and the volume knobs are reversed. So the gain is actually volume and the volume is actually gain. Don't know why that is, but that's just the way the pedal works. So I'm going to put the volume, or the actual gain, down, and like a little bit of boost and tone in the center. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's try out the tone knob. It does some weird stuff, so we'll see from the starting point to the end point, see the difference in what the tone does. It's not a regular brightness control. So here's turned all the way down. So what you'll hear is that the pedal has a very interesting tone control. So instead of just this normal kind of tone that adjusts the brightness of the pedal, it actually changes the mid-range in a drastic way, and you'll hear it a lot better when I use the pedal as a distortion instead of a booster. And you'll hear how it changes, and not just the mid-range and the tone, it actually affects the actual gain and the, I guess, response and output of the pedal. So it seems to be some kind of active circuit. So let's check that out with a fairly clean amplifier and see what happens. So this is a clean brown face type amplifier. Let's see what the pedal does. You can see on the screen what the settings are. Notice the response of when I'm doing this palm mute. So you can hear how the response of the drive changes just by changing the tone. The gain will be maxed out just to emphasize the effect. See what happens. Yeah, it says crunch distortion on the box. I don't know, it just feels like something that's meant to be full gain the whole time. I don't think this is a low gain drive pedal at all. Like, you can't really get anything good with a low setting, I think. It just sounds weird. Also, one thing to note is that, at least to my ears, it sounds best with kind of like chords, power chords or something. Once you do single notes, it has this weird mid-range kind of like, sounds like a wah that you have stuck in one position. So like this, it's fine. But once you play single notes, it's got this weird thing. Weird pedal. I guess if you want just like a regular, predictable overdrive pedal or distortion, this isn't it. It has weird characteristics, and I imagine a use case for this where maybe you're in some kind of a band with, you know, fairly heavy sounds and heavy stuff happening, where you have maybe a chorus which is, you know, fully driven, but then you have a bridge or something or a heavy part, and you just want to get some like nasty guitar tones. Then you can use this pedal and you can kind of like crank the gain, find a weird sweet spot of the tone knob that gives you that nastiness that you're looking for, maybe boost the volume as well, and you'll get some pretty crazy stuff happening. So it could be like a supplemental drive pedal that will give you different flavors and different options, and something that is not very usual, I guess. Definitely not like a tube screamer. So yeah, I mean, it could be like a cool effect. So I think we should go and open it up and see what's inside. Maybe I can figure out which circuit this is. It should be one of those common ones that most pedal builders are cloning. So okay, so I've loosened everything that holds the thing together, so I can take the pedal apart and see what's inside. And I don't think I'm going to be very surprised, because I've opened up one of these things before. Yeah, so this is the enclosure. It's just this aluminium case here with the circuit here. And so as you can see, the whole circuit is like this thing here that you can, it's basically built, it's like SMD, super small, cheap parts, and no real hand soldering is happening here. So this thing is mass produced for sure, and that's why it's cheap. So it's got 3 dual op amps, and I'm not exactly sure what it could be. But you can see the build here. I mean, it's cheap parts. They're all mounted onto the PCB, which makes it quick to make. That's why it's cheap. But, you know, at the same time, I would call it, you know, quite reliable, as long as you don't treat it terribly bad. And yeah, if you like the video, please consider subscribing, because I have a bunch more. There's like 10 of these pedals, and this is the second one that I'm doing, so there's 8 more.